Hi, it's Paul here at Transport Vlog, and today I am at Petersham station. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to video the morning peak service here, and what I want to do in this video is show you all the different types of Sydney trains that are running at the moment, so the different train types. Hopefully we'll see all of them here, and also some of the New South Wales TrainLink train types as well, so like the Oscars and the V-sets, and hopefully some of the regional services as well, like the XPTs. So I'm going to stick around here for about 3 hours or so, and let's see what we can see. Petersham station is on the main line from Sydney Central to Strathfield, and this is one of the busiest lines in Australia. Petersham station has 6 lines, and as you'll find out in this video, some of the train types are only scheduled to run on certain lines. So I'm just going to explain these quickly first. The first 2 are the fast lines up towards Sydney and down away from Sydney, and these are used by the New South Wales TrainLink intercity and outer suburban services to the Central Coast and Newcastle, and also to the Blue Mountains, and also XPT and Xplorer services to regional New South Wales destinations and also interstate to Brisbane. The up and down fast lines also provide additional capacity for the T1 and T9 services, especially during peak times. The up and down semi-fast tracks are almost entirely used by the T1 and T9 suburban services. These 2 lines serve Penrith, Richmond, Epping, and are also the only lines that go over the Harbour Bridge to serve the North Shore line to Chatswood and Hornsby. The up and down slow lines are used by the T2 services from Leppington and Parramatta that run through the city circle. Some of the T2 services stop at Petersham station and others run straight through. Of all the train types you'll see in this video, 4 are scheduled to only run on the slow lines. So in this video I'm going to cover the different train types in the order that they appeared going towards Sydney after 7 AM in the morning. So the first train after 7 AM was a Waratah Series 1 train. This was not a surprise at all because these trains operate about 40% of the Sydney suburban network. This one is on the upslow and is heading towards the Sydney city circle. The Waratah Series 1 trains were introduced between 2011 and 2014. Here's one on the up semi-fast. The lines that the Series 1 Waratah trains run on is indicated in brown on this diagram, and it's all lines except for the T4 line to Waterfall and Cronulla. The Waratah Series 1 train is the only train type that has services that are scheduled to run on all of the 6 tracks. Waratah Series 1 trains are also known as A sets, and there are 78 sets in total. The Waratah trains have 8 carriages, as you can see here. So 78 sets, each set with 8 cars, so that's 624 carriages in total. plus a few spares, so this was Australia's largest train order at the time. The next train type that I saw was the Waratah Series 2. During 2018 and 2019, 24 further Waratah trains were introduced into service. These are known as the Waratah Series 2s and have the distinctive orange fronts. Here is one on the down slow line. Like the Series 1 Waratah trains, these are also 8 carriages. The 24 new Waratah Series 2 trains replace the remaining ageing and non-air conditioned S sets. Both types of Waratah trains have very distinctive sounding motors. During 2020, the first of 17 more Waratah Series 2 trains was introduced. These will replace the C sets, which are featured in this video, so keep watching. This is set B31, looking very shiny and new. And that was set B33, one of the newest Waratahs that was introduced earlier this year. The Waratah Series 2 trains run on the T2 Leppington and Parramatta to City Circle line, also the T3 Liverpool via Bankstown and the City Circle, and also the T8 service via Sydney Airport, Revesby, Campbelltown to Macarthur. The Waratah Series 2 trains are also known as B sets, and there will be 41 in total. Unlike the Waratah Series 1 trains that run on all lines, the Waratah Series 2s are only scheduled to run on the slow lines. So here are the Series 1 and Series 2 Waratah trains side by side. Can you notice any differences besides the orange front on the Series 2 Waratah? The next train type that appeared after 7 AM was the V set. These are the oldest electric trains that run into Sydney. Some of these date back to 1977. There are currently 51 4-car sets in service. The V sets run on the longer intercity services to Newcastle and also through the Blue Mountains to Lithgow. They are due to be replaced by the new intercity fleet, the NIF trains, also known as D sets, during 2021 and 2022. Keep watching this video to see a NIF train on test. The V sets normally run on the up and down fast lines. Except when they don't. This one is on the up semi-fast. They often run as 4-car sets on more lightly used services such as this one. The next train type to arrive after 7 AM was the T set, more commonly known as the Tangara train. The The Tangara trains were introduced between 1988 and 1995. Tangara is the Aboriginal word for to go. There are 447 Tangara carriages. These make up 111 four-car sets plus a few spares. So after the Waratahs, this is the second largest train type. The lines that the Tangara trains run on are indicated in brown on this map. So these include the T1 North Shore and Western line, the T9 Northern line, and also the T4 line from Bondi Junction to Cronulla and Waterfall. Next up is the H set, more commonly known as the Oscar train. Oscar stands for Outer Suburban Car. The first Oscar train came into service in 2006 and the last one in 2012. There are currently 55 four-car sets, and like the V sets, they'll often operate as a single four-car unit at off-peak times. The Oscar trains are designed for more long-distance services, including the Central Coast line to Gosford, Wyong and Newcastle, and the South Coast line to Wollongong, Kiama and sometimes Port Kembla as well. This one on the down semi-fast has come from the Central Coast and is going to terminate at Blacktown. Like the V sets, they normally run on the up and down fast, but there's always an exception, like this one. Next up is the K set, and these are the oldest trains running on the Sydney suburban network. The K-sets run on all the lines that are indicated in brown in this diagram, and these are exactly the same lines that the Waratah Series 2s run on. However, the K-sets generally only run in peak times. You may occasionally see them in the off-peak, but very rarely at weekends. The K-sets were introduced into service between 1981 and 1985. There are 40 four-car sets, and they're usually combined into two to make an 8-car train. The new NIF trains will indirectly replace the K sets, which will then be withdrawn from service, so enjoy them while you still can. Here is the XPT to Casino. are 19 XPT power cars and 60 passenger carriages. This is the Dubbo XPT. The XPT is based on the British Rail high-speed train, and they were introduced between 1982 and 1994. The first XPT that you saw in this video was going to Casino up the north coast. There is another one later in the day that goes all the way to Brisbane. And the second XPT was going west to Dubbo. The XPT also operates the daytime and the nighttime service between Sydney and Melbourne. The next suburban train type was the Millennium M sets. These were introduced between 2002 and 2005. The Millennium Trains are scheduled to run on exactly the same lines as the Waratah Series 2 and the K sets, as you can see in this map here. This is often referred to as Sector 2 because these lines are quite interconnected, and a train will often run on one line, go around the city circle and then come back onto another line. There are 35 Millennium 4-car sets, and they're usually coupled together to form an 8-car train. The Waratah trains that we covered earlier were based on the design of these Millennium trains. Next up and coming into view is the C set. The C-sets came into service in 1986 and 1987, and they were a follow-on from the K-sets. Only 12 4-car sets were built, and they were an interim measure due to delays in the design and development of the Tangara trains. The C-sets used technology that would be used on the Tangara trains, including chopper thyristor controls. Listen out for them now. Sadly, the C-sets were withdrawn from revenue earning service on the 26th of February 2021, which was just a few days after I had filmed the footage for this video. The C-sets were replaced by the Waratah Series 2 trains, so they operate on the same lines as those trains and also the Millennium trains and the K-sets, although the C-sets were normally only in service at peak times. If you would like to learn more about the C-sets, then there is a link in the description to my C-sets chopper playlist. So saying goodbye to the C-set as this one heads back to Flemington Depot out of service. Okay, so I wasn't expecting this to appear on the upfast. The next train type was the diesel Endeavour train. This was coming from Bathurst. It's often known as the Bathurst Bullet by the locals. These were introduced between 1994 and 1996, and there are 14 two-car units. The Bathurst Bullet is a daily service from Bathurst, which runs on the non-electrified line from Bathurst to Lithgow and then on the Blue Mountains line. The Endeavour trains also run on the non-electrified Southern Highlands line. They provide a regular hourly service between Moss Vale and Campbelltown, with occasional trains continuing on to Sydney or down to Goulburn. The Endeavour trains also run on the non-electrified part of the South Coast line between Kiama and Bomaderry. I've frozen the footage of this Xplorer train here before a Waratah train gets in the way. The Xplorer trains were introduced between 1993 and 1995. There were 23 cars in total, and they can be formed anything from a 2-car to a 4-car set. They are mechanically identical to the Endeavour trains, but their interior is designed for longer distance travel. The Xplorer trains run the daily service to Tamworth and Armadale and Marie. The one you just saw was doing that service. They also run a regular service 2 or 3 times a day to Canberra. The Xplorer trains also run the weekly service to Broken Hill and the twice weekly service to Griffith. And the final train type was the brand new intercity NIF train. 554 carriages are being built. There will be a mixture of 6 and 4-car sets to make 10-car trains like this one. The NIF trains will shortly be introduced onto the Newcastle line, where they will replace the V sets and the Oscar trains. They'll then be introduced on the Blue Mountains line, replacing the V sets on that line, and then onto the South Coast line, replacing the Oscar trains. The V sets will then be withdrawn and the Oscar trains will be transferred to the Sydney suburban network, allowing the remaining K sets to be withdrawn. So to finish off this video, I'm just going to show you some footage of times when things got a little bit hectic at Petersham station. Adjacent to the down slow line is Petersham Training Centre, and outside that is R42, which is 2 carriages from an R set, which was basically a 6-car S set. So that was the morning peak at Petersham station. It went very, very well. We saw all the different types of electric multiple unit trains on the Sydney Trains network, including the C sets that are currently going to be retired very soon. So that was great to see a couple of those. And also we saw the diesel Endeavour train coming from Bathurst. And for the New South Wales TrainLink services, we saw the V-sets, we saw the Oscars, we also saw the XPT, a couple of those, and also the Xplorer train, although the footage of that was a bit difficult because of Waratahs in the way. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, do give it a like, give it a thumbs up, and do leave a comment below. And if you haven't already subscribed to the Transport Vlog channel, then please do. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye for now.